I'm doing my best to play and speak at the same time here.
Yeah. Much easier for me right now since I don't have the controller.
Yeah. Hey everybody, Justin here. I'm joined by Michael Haveri from Housemarque. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we're going to talk about Nex Machina.
Yes, that's our latest and greatest Housemarque arcade title. So,
Yep.
yeah.
So I'd like to just dive right in here if that's okay. While we're getting this all started up, can you give me a quick overview of what Nex Machina is?
Nex Machina is a very classic top-down arcade shooter. You have twin sticks, so L and R sticks are in use, and also two other buttons, which are the L and R1 buttons.
Okay.
And that's pretty much your button kind of setup there.
I got a no death clear.
There you go. It's for the first room, that's pretty good. But it follows a lot of these classic arcade shooters. We draw inspiration from something called Robotron, which is a early 80s game, and then another game made by the same guys called the Smash TV, where we get this sort of room structure from. And we're actually creating this game with the guy who made these games, Eugene Jarvis.
Yeah.
So he's a huge inspiration for us, and now we get to work with this legend. So it's been a wonderful time. And
yeah, you guys. I know that Resogun took inspiration from Defender.
Right. Made by Eugene also. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are kind of the front runners in terms of taking these classic formulas and putting your own spin on them.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan.
We're geeks who love these games,
Yeah.
and then we like to kind of put our twist on them. And we get to do that for a living, so what's better than that? So yeah.
Yeah, I can feel a little bit of Resogun here with the dash through and all that stuff.
A lot of those things so there's familiar things from Resogun if you played that. Saving the humans, for example, here, that's another layer of complexity and the score. But basically, there's the dash, and then there's different weapons. But other than that, a lot of the things are very different. The engine, though, it is the same engine, or it was supposed to be the same engine. Then the guys got into it and they started doing a lot of fixes. So everything you see on screen now, except the character model and any models, are actually voxels.
Oh, okay.
So everything there is just small little cubes. And the new addition from Resogun is that we can actually transform those. So kind of, if you can see on the bottom there, you can see these strict cubes turning into these kind of clay-looking cubes. So that's sort of our new visual gimmick that we added into the engine.
Oh, okay. Now on the mechanical side, I didn't get the humans there.
It's all good.
So I should probably you should focus on saving humans before you take out all the enemies if you're going for that perfect
Right. There's
run.
a little bit of a leeway in terms of getting the last humans before you transfer to the other room.
Yeah.
So even if you have one or two humans, you can still maybe catch them. This is, by the way, one of the worst parts, and so you got to focus on this part. We've been watching a lot of players, and this is where everybody dies at least once or twice.
Yeah, this is, I'm doing my best to play and speak at the same time here.
Yeah. Much easier for me right now since I don't have a controller.
Yeah.
But so it's...
yeah, that was bad.
It's one of these things that when you have simple controls, when you have a fairly simple premise, a lot of the complexity becomes more apparent.
Yeah.
So your strategy within the levels, understanding enemy movement patterns and bullet patterns, that is something that then you can kind of put your touch on. You want to go towards the bullets. Do you want to go away from the bullets? All these things are very apparent where you only have two sticks and two buttons. So that's really, we want to make a very pure experience. And this is a game actually we'd love to establish something similar as we thought maybe Resogun established. So
yeah,
that's kind of our mission.
So you talked about you guys have been fans of Eugene Jarvis, and now you actually get to work with him. You're collaborating with him on this game. What's that like?
Well, there's a lot of fanboy moments in the industry. When you see somebody whose work you admire, you get that feeling in your gut. But
I've got that feeling right now.
Right, but it's also honestly with Eugene, the first couple of days I was in shell shock. I didn't realize it. And then we started filming a movie, there's a documentary crew around us.
Oh, really?
Right, so we're doing that too. And so all this kind of comes together, and I just wake up in the early mornings sometimes and I realize what's happening. But when you're in the moment, you can't take it in all that well. But yeah, it's been amazing, really.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's got to be so cool to just be able to work with one of your heroes like that and make something cool.
It's quite surreal.
I imagine it's got to be really cool for him to kind of get back in there and start making something new too.
Right. So Eugene's making games. He's making arcade cabinet games.
Oh, really?
Since the 80s, and he's done some of this very cool lately. He did a New Cruise USA game and some Big Buck Hunter games. Right. So he's still making those physical cabinets in Chicago. So maybe he'll do one for this game. Who knows? But
that would be awesome.
Exactly. But it's just cool to see him do something really more reminiscent of the 80s titles, where it's really hardcore, rather than something that's catered to maybe a bit more, kind of the kids, a bit of an easier kind of a cycle. So definitely the most hardcore game that he and his team have been involved for a while.
So looks like I'm at a boss here. I kind of have gone through and I've been playing pretty safe, trying to use my right stick to fire at things. Are there any high scoring like advanced techniques that once I get more familiar with the game I should start trying to do?
We do a lot of let's say there's a lot of extra things you can destroy. So even the environment, if you destroy that adds up to your tally.
Oh, okay.
With bosses like this, it's actually fairly straightforward, and this is a fairly Resogun-ish boss. We'll have a much more complex with multiple patterns and phases down the line. But
all those voxels.
Yeah. I remember Shuhei was playing it in PSX, and he was like, "Need more voxels." So we might add some more voxels there. So
I'm putting my name on here.
All right.
People are going to remember me forever.
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna try one? I want to see a pro play.
I'll be speaking the whole time, and I'll take there's secret routes, so I'll probably try to do something like that.
Please.
So we can show off a little bit.
I imagine you've probably gotten pretty good at navigating through this while still telling people about it.
You'd think so, yeah. No, but the whole, because you got to be in the zone, right? You got to be focused on the game.
Of course.
Similar with Resogun, you kind of, just blank out and you play that game.
I remember when Resogun, when PS4 first came out, I was playing Resogun and I would stream it on Twitch.
Right.
And I would perform far worse while I was streaming because I was trying to pay attention to comments and talk to people and all that.
Exactly.
So I always feel kind of like a goof when I would start streaming a game and I don't play as well as I know I can play.
We feel like we've tapped into something in the human brain by making these sorts of games. It's like the nirvana everybody's searching for. Well, we get a little piece of that at least with fully focused arcade gaming.
Nice. Did you get that human?
I don't think I did.
Oh, man.
It would have given me a plus there. But I got a special weapon.
Oh, cool.
Now I lost it. Now I started talking about it. But yeah, there's weapons you can pick up, and if you pick up an extra weapon and die, you lose it. And if you pick up a new one, then you lose it also. So it kind of replaces it. But that's with the R1 button here.
Yeah, and then you got dash on your L1. You can dash through enemies.
And here, a dash explosion means that there's a little area effect afterwards.
Cool.
So there's pickups to your main weapon, to your dash, and your special weapon.
Oh, awesome. I love that this whole level seems to be set on kind of an ever-rotating cube. You keep on going to a different face of this cube as you
in this
clear
demo,
levels.
we show this is the only one that's kind of on a different axis here. You can see the voxels dropping down towards
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Right, so there's a little bit of that physics thing going on. But we do a lot of that very cubic. Now I miss these humans again. But right, so we try to play around with the perspective a little bit there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Maybe some special enemies even that take advantage of a perspective, or possibly even bosses that are only on a certain plane.
Oh, cool. So is this, are you looking at the same kind of structure as, is this more of like a Resogun or more like an Alienation in terms of like the progression and everything? Is it more arcadey where you just start fresh?
Very Resogun-y. It's sort of a, let's say, more focused core gameplay thing, and then just replaying that, and we'll be adding a lot of challenges. Basically everything that we did with Resogun, we'll try to do similar things and then add more according to, let's say, player-based feedback.
Yeah, Resogun ended up a very different game by the end.
It did.
I mean, I don't know if I want to say the end of its life cycle. People still play it, but
and we just did an update for it too with the 4K HDR.
Oh yeah. Oh, is HDR enabled on that too?
HDR
oh, that's gonna
also.
Look amazing.
It's pretty good.
I just got a 4K HDR TV, and oh my goodness, I can't believe what a difference it makes.
Resogun, that's something you need to check out then.
Well,
for sure.
yeah, I guess it's time to boot that bad boy back up.
And these are the same things that we're looking for next Machina, but currently we haven't announced anything for PS4 Pro, but it will be on PS4 Pro.
Okay, great.
Sure.
Yeah.
We just need to fine tune it in the shop a couple more times.
Yeah, of course. So is this one of the secret routes?
So right now we're in a secret route, and this is actually again on a different perspective.
Oh, okay.
I keep dying, so maybe I should try to focus.
Please.
Usually these are a bit harder, so even though currently we are on the first level, this route will be a lot harder and I will die. But again, this is where you want to be in terms of score hunting. There's also secret stuff like in the rooms that are not secret rooms, so we put a lot of these alternative pathways to kind of...
How extensive do these alternate pathways get? Is it to the point where like you might face different bosses or something, or are they just little bonus like detours in the middle of levels?
Let's just say very likely the first option you just mentioned.
Oh, okay.
Can't promise anything, but we would love to do mini bosses that are only available through secret routes.
Oh, cool.
And that's kind of our way to add replayability in there. So you come back and you see, now I lost all my lives here. But
well,
actually get to start here.
I won't hold it against you.
Exactly. But yeah, so that's something we're looking at. Hopefully we'll get that in the final game. And also, it's something that we want to have a long life with, so we might even add a variation of a campaign or,
oh, cool.
You know, a lot of challenges and different mixing up of the usual. Because it's a different structure than Resogun. It's not just a certain amount of levels.
Right.
Here we have a lot more flexibility in routes and so on.
You're making expert use of this dash maneuver.
Well, here, here you have to, again.
Yeah.
Something that we don't really teach you in the first level that well, but then if you want to go forward, you need to be able to
dash through
and then also kill the guys on the side.
So it looks like that dash can be used defensively and offensively. You can dash through enemies and stuff.
And that's, like, with a lot of our games, people start doing, well, you know, twin sticks in general, there's a thing called moonwalking, and when you're just running away from the enemies backwards and shooting at them.
Yeah.
So here we want to add things that actually make you do more offensive things. So you run towards the enemies, but that's the kind of trade-off that you might actually hit them. And
is there a cooldown on the dash? I think I hear a
there's a little
sound
bit,
effect there, yeah.
Exactly. So right now it's a sound effect. I think there's a visual also, but currently you can only see the hitbox on top of the character.
Oh, yeah.
But again, this is a fairly early demo. This is the one we announced and launched at PSX.
Okay.
This is actually available in all the PlayStation 4 demo kiosks around the world.
Oh, awesome.
Europe and North America. So
you're talking about when you like go to a retail store,
right?
And
Then
you
you get to play this, and it's set up in a way like you can leave your score, your name tag there, so you can actually play it like an arcade game. So
it's the new arcade.
Exactly. Well, I mean that's kind of all we do is we want to really try to recreate the arcades in a way. So that's kind of our mission plan as developers too.
Nice. So yeah, this game looks incredible. I noticed that while you were, or at least while I was playing earlier, I noticed my weapon getting stronger after a little while. Is that tied to a multiplier, or is it just the longer you stay alive?
Pickup. There's a pickup for the main weapon, and there's a so dash, main weapon, and special weapon have those pickups you see in the world. I haven't seen one of the ones you picked up. And of course, if you also die, you lose it. So.
Okay, here's the spot that I got hung up on earlier.
So there's weapon up you can see up there. If I get that, then I get the triple burst.
Nice.
But again, these are things that might change, and also we want to do variations of the campaign. So you know, if we make a very different main weapon, for example, we can just kind of do a modifier for a week for that. So. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get to the final boss here. I think you got my score beat, because every time you lose those 5 lives, then you restart from the beginning.
Oh no!
So I don't know.
Well, I think I had to continue here too. So
okay, so there's a chance.
I think you might have a shot.
All right. I don't know if they let me back into Finland if
I think it's likely that you beat my score.
Let's see. I'll try to get these guys. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a very simplistic arcade. I think a lot of people expect this from Housemarque, and we're very happy to deliver. So.
Yeah, you guys have really kind of mastered this. We were talking about it earlier about how you kind of take these classic formulas and I wouldn't say turn them on their head, but kind of put your own spin on them and bring them into the modern age. Like, I probably wouldn't go back and play a ton of Robotron these days. I still love it, but
yeah, it's fun for very small bursts, and now we're just trying to bring it to the modern era where you can actually play it for a longer time and still get that very familiar feeling.
Get that adrenaline.
Right, exactly. So
your games are very good at getting that adrenaline pumping.
That hectic. Yeah, it's definitely something. Well, some people can actually do it for a long time. Personally, for me, half an hour might be enough of our games. at a time.
I remember getting real sweaty palms playing Resogun, trying to get high score runs going.
I gotta give you a shout out over to Britty, and I think he lives in Las Vegas. He actually beat Super Stardust HD's score that's been on the top list for 6 years.
Really?
So there's still guys who actually play it. He played it for 6 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh my
straight.
goodness. What?
And that was, well, then he got the new high score. So there's still guys like that out there. You know, those same people were probably playing Defender in the
You guys
80s.
should just build a kill screen into your game once you reach a certain point.
I know.
We've got a kill screen coming up, if
Exactly.
anyone's interested.
But definitely, it's a very hectic thing. We don't have that. If you have a pacemaker warning in the beginning of our games yet, but epilepsy warning definitely there for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks incredible. I can only imagine how cool all of these particles and the laser beams and everything will look with
And
HDR
we want to do
too.
more. We've been teasing a bit of because currently we have a very early implementation of our new voxel tech here. On our Twitter, we actually showed off some GIFs of very experimental things where everything turns into voxels and just. So there's a lot of stuff we can do, and hopefully before we launch, we can show a bit more of that. So.
And is that just at Housemark for your Twitter?
Yeah, at Housemark is our Twitter. We are in Europe, so our tweets usually correspond to those time zones.
Oh yeah, sure.
But definitely, we'll be showing a lot more of the game before we launch.
Awesome.
Which is probably going to be around this summer.
Oh, cool.
So no definite dates yet, but
Sure. I won't hold you to it.
yeah, I mean, when the game's done, we'll put it out there, and it's better than doing something too early.
Yeah, cool. You got
I did barely. I put some more effort in towards the end there, so yeah.
And then, so if you move around here, I think it was like moving all those voxels.
Yeah,
they're
all-
my goodness.
they're
Yeah,
all
you
physically-
destroyed me. Come
No,
on,
it's-
man.
I mean, yeah.
You're making me look bad over
I get
here.
to go back home, so it's.
I got to question my own gamer
It's a
cred
win-win
here.
situation. But when the game comes out, you play for a while.
I'll take
and
you
you'll
on then,
challenge
yeah,
me. We'll
exactly.
do a head-to-head then.
Awesome. Well, this has been Next Machina. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
This will be out sometime aiming for summer. Yeah, no definite date
Summer
yet.
2017. Hopefully early summer, and if not, then later summer. So
Okay, well,
that's
one or the
about it.
other. Awesome. Well, thanks again. We'll have more on Next Machina on PlayStation blog leading up to release, so please stay tuned.
PlayStation